Namaskar from our channel, The Consultant's View. Today we will talk on resiliency of a water distribution system. In a typical water distribution network, treated water gets distributed to the consumers through a hydraulically efficient pipe network system from reservoir or tank. Here, the designer or the hydraulic modeler considered the reservoir or the tank, in most cases overhead tank, as the source of supply for that defined network. The designer or the modeler simulates the network to make it more efficient with respect to the basic parameters as stipulated in the standard norms published by the government. Out of those, two major parameters are flow at the consumer point with respect to demand at that point and residual pressure or residual head. Residual pressure depends on length of water travel within the network, where the initial head at source, that is overhead tank height or pump head, is approximately constant within that specific network. That means location of source is the most influencing factor for achieving required pressure, rather I should say equitable pressure for a set of pipe network. These are not new things I am talking about, considering the theoretical activities we do for simulating a network sitting in an AC office. Now, let us go at the ground reality, specific to those geographies in India and those which are under the cultural influence of India. We often see after completion of designs, tendering and contracting, during implementation phase, and even at the end phase of the ongoing works of pipe laying, it becomes imperative for the authority to change the location of overhead tank or the reservoir, which at the design stage was conceptualized as the source of treated water supply for that area. It may be due to land issue, social factors, political interference, or administrative demand. Whatever the reasons may be, it becomes crucial and extremely difficult for the engineer or rather project engineers to adjust and absorb the change when a substantial part of pipe network has already been laid. And also the design team model expert who was hired is out of the project. Here comes the challenge. So what's the easy way out? Manipulation, simple manipulation. Manipulation in redesigning the system to showcase compliance with the stipulated norms or internally strategize to demonstrate logic in support of non-compliance if there is any. If we consider this indisposition as a syndrome, then why not we get engrossed right from the network planning stage, right? This approach may be rendering more resiliency in the system. Let's discuss now. To visualize this, let's digress to recognize the urban planning and its development. If we see old cities, in most cases, these have been expanded on a ring system or in a circular pattern with radial expansion. However, the extent of theorizing was limited to those cities which did not face unfavorable topographic conditions. Let's take example of Madurai, Ujjain, Ajodhya, Varanasi, Patna, etc. All old historic cities that existed since ancient times. Most of them today have been developed on a circular pattern. Even the cities of medieval period such as Tanjavur, Hampi, Delhi, Surat, Jaipur, Gwalior, etc. showed the same pattern. Further, rather less old cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Pune, Kolkata followed the same pattern too. I am not taking the modern cities which are being developed based on the Western urban planning philosophies. Now let's explore why the cities got expanded in a circular pattern. Ancient cities often developed in a circular or radial pattern primarily for defense purposes. Other reasons of gradual development were equal access to city center and transportation efficiency. Another philosophical point is that human behavior desires for balance between access and space. This behavioral character was supported by outward and circular movement. Let us discuss the technical theories. In a circular flow regime of fluid, energy loss is minimum as compared to other closed geometrical shape. For other illustrations, we can draw examples from structural point of view. Circular section is better resistant to external forces, maybe due to its hoop stress development. Arch-shaped doors, windows in old buildings are most stable structures. Even in bridges with arch-shaped profile has been proved to be most economical. Now let us come down to our topic on water distribution. How to make it more resilient. This concept, as I discussed, right from old age urban development in circular pattern to structural economizing theories with circular or arch sections or shapes, induced the experts to give a thought on recommending reserved mains concept on circular pattern or a circular loop. This theory was modeled with different scenarios, considering shifting of tank locations. It has been proved and evident that a circular ring main pipe enhances the resiliency of the network. It should act as an exclusive reserve main, and no domestic connection shall be allowed to take water from this reserve main or ring main pipe. The overhead tank shall be connected to this reserve main. Even multiple tanks can feed this reserve bed. Wherever the overhead tank or reservoir location is or gets shifted within the project area, the hydraulics of the network can absorb the change without appreciable change in the output. In this case, the reserve main acts as a reserve unit of distribution. This is resilient system. Even in future, when actual population distribution varies by 20 to 30% of the projected distribution values, the system hydraulics will absorb the change in the actual nodal demand without impacting much on the residual pressure profile of that area. There are two challenges on this concept. First one is to identify the route for circular profile reserve main. There will be parallel minor pipes on the same route for domestic connections. The other reason is to increase the cost by 5 to 8% approximately due to increase in valve numbers. This ring reserve main concept in water distribution system not only have monumental advantages in respect to enhanced resiliency of the system, but also contribute to the sustainable development of the project in respect to long-term economy and societal angle. Lastly, from spiritual angle, a circle with no beginning and no end often symbolizes the cyclic nature of existence. It represents totality, eternity, wholeness, completeness, interconnectedness of all things. Circles are associated with concept of unity, balance and the divine. Let's follow nature. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this session. Namaskar.